Hi everybody and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Today I have some really interesting posts for you. But before we get started, I'd like to give a massive shout out to all of you who support me. If you want to skip this part, just use the timestamps on the video. Now I'll say welcome to Timothy Groot and Shikaro Kinimichi to the YouTube channel members. And also welcome Winter4684 as my first ever Twitch subscriber. And thank them for gifting 5 subscriptions to others in the community. Thank you for joining and thank you for your support. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. All the relevant links are in the description below. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's from user Discrt. Me, 28 male, offered dream job. Girlfriend, 26, isn't having it. The time has come to make a choice. My partner and I have been together for 7 years. We met attending a cheap fine arts college and graduated halfway through the last decade. Since graduating, I have worked extremely hard to make my craft my full-time job. Working numerous arduous gig jobs just to have the time to keep my hand in the trade as much as possible. And by gigs, I mean common 13-hour days and one 16-hour I'll never forget, to say the least. I have worked very hard to keep practiced in my craft and to stay afloat financially. Meanwhile, I have been waiting for my call from the studio of my dreams after visiting it 6 years ago. And guess what? I got it in February. Hooray! I pulled my car over in the street and took a 45-minute phone interview on the spot. I was glowing. I told my partner she could quit the job she's always complaining about, and we can move 2,500 kilometers away to a very small tourism town and start a family. She was not Gucci. She screamed, "No, I'm not moving away. What if we have kids? I won't have help from my parents, who live about 5 minutes away from us." She explained to me she likes to have the variety of shops and restaurants a big city provides, when in reality we never really go outside besides the local pub. But she said, hell no, this is home, and even I can feel that too to a certain extent. But I have told her for years that I don't want kids in this city. I want a more rural life, and I want to work at this studio specifically. And so, after hearing that she wasn't willing to ever leave the city, I'm left asking, but who have you been dating for the past 7 years? Haven't you heard me say what I want over and over? Land, a place to grow stuff, a porch to watch the night air cool off on, a pipe to smoke, wood to chop, a dog, a cat, a full-time job in my field, chickens. Like, come on, I'm an open book. How, if not all sounds impossibly perfect, I believe it's better to have tall dreams and fall short than small ones that are certainly achievable. You'll go farther that way. I knew deep down when I told her she was not going to be stoked. After 7 years with someone, you pretty much know how they will react to anything. But me leaving has been a sticking point in our relationship for some time. I'll explain. In college, I was awarded a semester abroad, which was hard for us. And now, every fall, I go away for 2 weeks to teach. When I'm gone, she's pretty much broken. She needs to have constant contact via text and a sobbing video call every night to tell me how much she misses me. Fine, I can handle that. But these calls get to the point where I feel guilty for my success and for leaving. There's one more nuisance that makes this harder. She goes to bed at 9 p.m. like clockwork, and I usually travel west. So she's going to bed even earlier based on where I'm at. It could be as early as 6 p.m. for me, which creates the same scenario every trip I go on. I ended up teaching for 9 hours, scarf down dinner and shower because she wants to Skype before bedtime, 6 p.m. Skype my whole night away because she's gone off the rails crying, and then I don't go out. I don't see anything while I'm away, all because I was too busy tending to her. This has ruined a lot of trips for me that should have been nothing but good times, but I thought it might get better if After every stint away, after all the Skype calls, I came home the same loving man and built trust with her. But it's not really gotten any better. I should note that I come from a poor family that is still poor and suffering from mental illness. It's been my goal since I can remember to pull them out of poverty. I don't make very much money on my art. It's mostly some work abroad, exposure, or ego achievements. But I'm just grateful to have one foot in my craft and another supporting me on minimum wage. I'm grateful because I have horribly internalized capitalism and believe I have the talent to bootstrap them and myself into a better life financially and mentally. I feel like if I don't take this job, I will have to spend the next 5 years grinding my life away at gig jobs. I'm 28. Like, when the hell am I supposed to fit kids into this scenario? If I forgo having kids, I probably still end up self-employed after that time, as that is my end goal, but I'd be giving away the position I've wanted for years. And it will haunt me like that Ranger truck I didn't buy in high school because my ex-girlfriend wanted me out of it. Seriously, I can't see one without being like, damn, should have bought that truck. So I know it'll mess me up. I'm worried I might not even like my craft after turning up this opportunity. If I take this opportunity, it's in June, I could start a family on the wage they want to pay me. I could help my poor family, and I will be able to practice my craft full time and eventually become self-employed under my own skill. In the past year, I've grown my understanding of the craft immensely, so I feel like I have lots of momentum at the moment and that I can become one of the greats in my country. It's literally everything I've wanted for 10 years, right on schedule. How can I convince myself that I deserve this opportunity? After writing this, I think I know how I feel, but I could still use some support, I think. Make me strong, please. Extra sauce. When I first visited the studio in question, I turned down a job offer to pursue my new relationship with my partner. Well, OP, from reading your post, I get the impression that this is a job that you really want. That's because you literally said that. So your post strikes me more of a way to convince yourself that what you want and what you know you are going to do is the right thing to do. And I think you're right. You don't need any convincing because the writing is on the wall. You and your girlfriend are incompatible. There's nothing to feel guilty about here. You guys are just not meant to be together. It sounds like her emotional needs or catering to her emotional needs take a toll on you, and that shouldn't feel forced. This whole thing for me is an issue about partner support. If this is your dream, and she's known this is your dream for the past 7 years, then instead of shutting it down immediately and refusing to go anywhere because of what she wants, she would at least be open to having a conversation and, open to having her mind changed. That's how you would approach this as a partner. But apart from that, like I said in the beginning of this commentary, I think your mind is made up and you know what you're going to do and you know what you want to do, and you just need a little push. So what do you guys think about this? While you think about that and OP's situation, how about we move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. Shikeshel52 says, "Take that job. A lot of people don't get this kind of opportunities. If you don't go for the girl, you will start to resent her for making you give up an opportunity you have dreamed for 6 years. And her telling that her parents won't be able to help if you have kids, they can always visit, right? She may tell you that you're selfish and whatnot, but sometimes you have to be selfish to get what you've worked hard for." And OP responds, "I'm bad at putting myself first, which is why it feels so difficult. I'm putting this out there partly to see if I'm the a-hole, but it looks like I may not be." Maggot39601 says, "Almost everyone gets married and has a partner. Almost no one gets to actually live their dream. It's a no-brainer. If she knew you wanted to do this for the entire time you've been together, then she spent the last 7 years convincing herself she can talk you out of it. Prove her wrong. She's had all this time to get over herself. She failed to do so. The only person you are stuck with until the day you die is you. You are not beholden to anyone, especially not someone trying to emotionally blackmail you into a life of unhappiness and mediocrity. OP responds, I'm having a hard time realizing I've been lied to this whole time about her wanting the same things as me. I mean, I've even drawn pictures of my ideal home in the woods, giving them to her as surprise gifts. This is what I'm thinking, sort of thing. And she's like, yup, great, I love it, let's put it on the fridge. Until now when it's actually attainable and I've achieved my goals. 23Chaos Theory says, go for it, chase your damn dream. Don't let this opportunity slip away. You will regret it and start hating her. Grab your dream. Well, it sounds like the community is absolutely backing OP on chasing his dream, and I agree with all of the points that they said. If he doesn't take this thing because she forced him to stay behind out of the relationship or whatever, he will eventually end up resenting her for giving up on his dream to be with her, somebody who he is clearly incompatible with emotionally. And at this moment, I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering, then what did OP end up doing? And he did give us a short update regarding what he wants to do and what his plan is. So let's continue with that. Update. I have accepted the job. I think 7 years has been long enough and this is the perfect time to exit, even though this will be hard emotionally. My plan is to tell her I'm going, and if she wants to come willingly then great, but if she's going to kick and scream the whole time, I'm leaving her here. I'm still reading through all of the comments and replying to a lot of them. Your perspectives are helping me see my worth and to be strong for myself. Thank you, everyone. Update. The Plan 2.0. You're all right. I don't think I can take her with me or I'll never hear the end of how she moved for me and nothing else. And therefore, I am responsible for her happiness. It might sound like I found resolution from this problem, but all of your support is really helping to reinforce my strength. Thanks, everyone. And now we know what OP is going to do. So all there's left to say is, OP, here's wishing you the best on living your dream. Enjoy it, my friend. And now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's from user throwaway00566. My 44 male wife 44 female is threatening to disown her son 23 male for wanting to marry his girlfriend 23 female because she has 2 children, 2 male, 1 female, and that he deserves the best. I married her when she had 2 children, 23 male, 21 female. My wife and I have been married for 5 years, been together for 9. Now, before people ask why I said her son, it is because their dad is still in the picture. They just called me Mr. OP. I still do my job in guiding her children and helping with homework and all as much as possible. And whenever they ask for things, I do my best to help. Now, this situation has been brewing for a long time. My wife's son, let's call him Sean, has been seeing this girl, call her Jade. My wife has told him before to just stick to girls in his job and also professional, and that she doesn't want him to be messing around with girls like Jade because they are nothing but trouble. Now, they have been hanging out a lot more, and my wife overheard Sean on FaceTime with one of his friends talking about buying a ring. She has flipped out. I didn't say much, but basically it came down to her calling him an idiot for getting with this woman, saying that she didn't spend all this time raising him, taking him to practice, to Kumon, for him to end up with a woman with 2 kids and raising another man's crotch goblins. She told him to end this and find someone on his level and have his own children. They were yelling at each other, and I know it's not about me. But honestly, I really got the feeling that she thought of someone who marries a single parent as a loser, that only men that have nothing going for them raise someone else's kids. And all this stuff about lineage, etc., were all stuff she told me she never cared about. I don't know what to do here. I feel like in this case, when she actually was angry and upset, did she share her true feelings about this? I now wonder if she just thinks of me as a sucker that couldn't have a family of his own. I'll be honest, when we got together, she told me that she did want to have children with me, but then things just came up, and it was her just saying, after this, after that. Now, I don't think it's possible anymore. And honestly, at 44, I have put these feelings behind me, but this resurfaced all of that. What should I do in this scenario? Do I call out my wife? Do I confront her how she has been completely inconsistent? Well, OP, I think you're right about one thing. I think you do need to talk to your wife. I don't know if a confrontation per se, like throwing it in her face, is the best thing to do, but definitely ask her, what the hell? I mean, I married you and you had kids. Do you think about me like that? I have to say, OP, the first thing that came to my mind when I read your title was like, whoa, this sounds like a lot of hypocrisy. And then I read the post and I was like, yep, it's a lot of hypocrisy here. This is not something you can sweep under the rug or let her sweep under the rug by saying, but it's different. You're my husband. He's my son. Da da da. No. Standards apply just the same to everybody. So what do you guys think? What kind of advice would you give OP? What do you think OP should do? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say to OP. Stella Maris says, if she is going to disown her son for marrying someone with kids, then she is not a person you can reason with. But I think it is reasonable for you to say something like, I heard you talking to Sean, and you said something pretty harsh stuff about him raising someone else's kids. Do you think that way about me and my involvement with your kids? And see what she says. She will likely say that's different somehow, but if you drill down, why it's different will be enlightening, I bet. P.S. Your wife's adult children, who you've known for 9 years, call you Mr. OP? Don McD says, ouch. Sorry for you to find out like this that you were nothing more than a paycheck to her. Did sex dwindle down to a slow trickle throughout the marriage? Not as much as you want, but enough to keep you around? And OP responds, well, since we had to deal with her children's schedule, we never had sex that frequently, but in the beginning, she was a lot more enthusiastic. As time went on though, even when she is free, she would say she is tired. So yeah, basically did happen. Drew Flan says, I feel like there is an enormous difference between dating a single mother who is 35 versus 23. 23 is a young age where a ton can still change in your life, whereas by 35, you're close to the age where you've established yourself. You mentioned she overheard his conversation. Does that mean he still lives at home? Does he have an established career that would enable him to support a full family? Are the fathers of the kids still in the picture and providing for them financially? The answer to those questions are what would determine the level of outright hypocrisy. And there you go. The community is also calling out the hypocrisy of the wife and is encouraging OP to go and talk to her to see what is going on. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. The links are in the video description below, along with other links like my Twitch, where I also live stream Reddit stories live every Monday through Friday. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.